What's going on, YouTube? I'm back with another one for you. Um, how y'all doing? I want to say it's been long, but it hasn't been that long because I was just on here. It feels good to be here more with y'all. Um, yeah, so the last video I did on starting the process of chasing dreams and working towards goals and ambitions. This one is like kind of a spin off of that. There's a lot more to be said about that process, and I wanted to speak specifically on the process of your circle and the people you have around you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Join the family, subscribe, and if you enjoy this video, leave a like. And if you're not new, welcome back. Glad you're here. Right, last time we spoke about towards the end of my video, last time we spoke about your circle. What do I mean by circle? I mean your friends, the people you surround yourself with, the people you hang around the most, I should say. Um, that's your circle. That's who you affiliate with. Why is it important in terms of dreams and goals and ambitions? For me, I think it's essential who we surround ourselves with and who we hang around and what we find ourselves doing, and 9 times out of 10 what those things have to do with your people. What are they doing? What are y'all getting into? If you're going out, what are y'all gonna do? When y'all sit down, what do y'all talk about? Like, these are the things that influence you mentally, you know, physically, your actions. Like, what are they doing for you? You know what I mean? And disclaimer, not every friendship has to be beneficial in terms of your goal. Sometimes we have to separate ourselves from a relationship and focus on ourselves. But it is important to have a smaller circle that pushes you towards your goal and pushes you towards where you want to be. And that's what I mean by circle. I've had a long journey with friendships, in terms of growth. I've had a long journey. For a long time, I took my friendships and the loyalty and the bond between myself and someone else very seriously, because it was it was something that I that meant a lot to me, to have people around me that could watch my back and people around me who I could trust. Being trustworthy, being loyal to me is very important, you know. But growing up, I didn't understand the way the world worked necessarily, and how loose friendships are. How loose they can be when it comes to just dealing with life and and trying to handle the world and carry your world. So I took a lot of things personally. For example, in high school and just all throughout school, basically, there would be times where, um, well, in my school there was a lot of friend groups. You know, I never stuck to a group. I was never isolated into one group. I knew a lot of people from different groups, different friend groups, and we were cool. But I always had the two or three people that I was like this with. And as time goes on, like years, I mean, a lot of those people, we grow and we change. And if you're growing and changing, it means you're not the same person you were before. So sometimes a bond in a relationship can, you can outgrow those things. And me, I never noticed how quickly and how fast I was growing compared to other people. Obviously, because I'm not comparing myself to other people. But I didn't realize how quickly I was making steps towards being a better person and focusing on that more than other people. So I kind of left a lot of people on a level, which there's nothing wrong with. I'm not saying, I'm better than anybody, but I'm saying that I elevated myself and got to a point in my life where I had to focus on different things than those people, which affected our relationship. And at the time, I wasn't aware of how that worked. So I would take it so personally that those people couldn't keep up and be on the same path as me and be, right with me, right at my hip, working on the same things, trying to, but that's not the way it works. And for a long time, I took it personally, and I already have abandonment issues, so that on top of, dealing with these trusts I have in my life, it kind of affected me in a negative way. I started to take that very personally because it would always happen. And I never understood why each time I would get close with somebody and years would go by and the bond would just it would never get stronger, it would get weaker. There was a lot of people that I encountered that at the time were in the same place that I was and we could share a moment. But as time goes on and I reevaluate and I learn, what's important and what's not important and where I want to be, those people slowly started to disappear. And I got to a point where I realized, which wasn't that long ago, actually, it really wasn't that long ago, if I'm being honest, that it has nothing to do with me personally. When people, separate themselves from your life, it actually has to do with life itself. It has to do with their life, where they are in their life, and it has to do also with where I am in my life, and I never thought about it that way. I always thought that once you decide to be somebody's friend, once you decide to be loyal and bonded to a person, it's a decision. You keep on making that decision, to stick with that person. But that's easier said than done when life is something that is a priority. Those things didn't occur to me. I didn't think about it in that way. But as time went on, I realized, that that's an important thing to understand, especially as at a young age, because throughout life that's going to happen. You're going to meet people who are essential for the moment and not for the long run. I know that there's people who are going to be there throughout, and there's just people who are going to be there for a season. And I think it's just the levels of connection and lessons also. I'm still trying to figure out what the reason is behind that and why we can't all just, stay connected. But I don't know. Maybe one of y'all could help me out with that, because that's something that I think about often, because I've known a lot of people and I've been close to a lot of people, and there was never a time that I pictured that would come to an end, and it could have just been because I was young and I was naive at the time, but maybe I'm missing something, So if you have a suggestion, or if you have a reason for why there's such a distinction between the two, people who stay for a season and people who are throughout your life consistent, and people come and go. I know that. I know there's going to be people who come and then they go and then they come back and then they go. That I understand that. I'm open to that. I'm not saying you have to stay or you have to go, but there is a distinction, and I'm trying to figure out the different characters between the two and understand what they benefit for me, so I could let you guys know what it could benefit for you to know that and understand that, because it's something that I think about often. A lot of people tell me that the generation that I'm in is not as quickly advanced as you. So it's hard to find that kind of loyalty. Like I matured very quickly for my age, you know, and it was difficult to find a circle that could relate in that way, you know. So I think that's another reason why it was so difficult. But yeah, you know, like everybody has their own history, their own traumas that they deal with specifically when it comes to friendships, you know. And I really want to understand, you know, more of how that works because it helps me deal with the trauma. It helps me understand the trauma and how I can heal, you know, those wounds because a lot of it I took personally and a lot of it hurt in a way, you know. So I really want to understand that. So yeah, all of that to say this connection to people who are close to us can affect how how we go get it in the world, you know, how we chase the things that we want. Um, it could be everything. Sometimes you have those days, or sometimes we have those years where we just aren't motivated, and we just can't find it in ourselves to go get it, you know. And the people who we surround ourselves with in those times can be every reason why we get to that destination at any point in our lives. I think that it's important that we take that into consideration and pay attention to it. I don't want you to pay all the attention in the world to who you're around, but it should definitely be a priority to pay attention to who you're affiliated with and who is influencing creativity, who's influencing the things that you love and the things that you want to do. You know, and like I said, it's not always about that. Not every friendship has to be about that. But if you're in a place in your life where you're on the go and you're trying to get to a destination and you're trying to accomplish a goal, it's not going to be a walk in the park if the people around you aren't influencing that process. So I think that it's important to understand the traumas of friendships, why they didn't work out, why you're here in this situation, and the person you were friends with or whoever you were connected with is not. I think it's important to understand that separation and why it's a benefit to where you're trying to get, not always a negative. The more we understand, the less we feel conflicted with things. So I want to understand it more, you know, and that's why I feel like this video is so important to make for you guys because I want you to think about it too. Because I know plenty of y'all uh, have a goal, have dreams, have ambitions, just like me, and I know for a fact the the influence that you have in your life that are coming from the people in your life is very important to where you want to go. It's important we digest the right influence, I should say, so we can get to that point. Not easier, it might not always be easy, but I'm saying the motivation will come with ease. Finding new lanes, finding new ways to push yourself when other people are influencing you in a positive light. But I feel like a friend should have an understanding of a responsibility to care and support another individual. And if that care and support doesn't align with your life right now, then you have to reevaluate. And it's not personal it has nothing to do with that person. It has nothing to do with anything personal between you. It has to do with life. If one's here and one's here and you're trying to meet, it doesn't work. You see what I'm saying? So I think that it's essential that there's a grounding that you both can meet on. And it all has to do with timing. It all has to do with your place right now, where you are right now. So don't be hard on yourself. I'm not saying go burn bridges with people and be out of control and just be selfish. What I'm saying is ask yourself about the people you have around you, and ask yourself if they are really supporting you in the way that you need support. You know what I mean? So find the roots of why you would connect with somebody, you know? And I think that when you find that connection, it'll really be the fuel for one of the fuels for the fire that's going to help you get to where you want to be, help you be who you want to be, and just motivate you all around in life, not just with your dreams and goals, but also just motivate who you are. When you find the right people to be around, that makes you feel good. It makes you want to go to lengths that you've never been before. Maybe be who you want to be, even though you've never been who you want to be before. You feel accepted. And that connection is really important to me, and I hope it's important to y'all. And if it's not important at this time in your life, I think you should reevaluate. Me personally, like I suggest that you really think about how somebody else could affect your life. Because I know a lot of people who base everything that they do off of the people they have around them. Like they live, I don't want to say they live for other people, but almost, like a lot of what they do is based off of the reactions that they're going to get from the people in their circle, you know, so they can influence a positive energy. You shouldn't have to influence a positive energy. The positive energy should just flow. They should be just giving you that, and you should be giving it to them constantly. You shouldn't have to please the circle, please the individuals in your life to create that positive light. The positive light should be unconditional. It should be there. That's key, and that's so important. That's so important. Everybody deserves that environment. Everybody deserves that kind of circle. I know too many connections, and I've been in too many connections where it's conditional. Where if you're not doing what we're doing, if we're not doing this, if this isn't happening, if you're not, why you gotta, it's too condensed, it's too critical, then it's just not, like I said, the levels, you're not here. It's a really simple topic with it's a simple topic, but there's a lot of complexity to understanding it, is what I should say. But I just wanted to bring it up to influence thoughts in you guys on where you are in your life, because sometimes we don't feel so good with, you know, the environment that we find ourselves in. You could be in an environment where you're around people who just, no shade to the people who do this. It's your life. But you could be in a situation where you're hanging out with people who hang on the corner all day and buy booze and drink and just kick it. That's a way to live. But if it's not the way that you want to live, and those are the people you surround yourself with, it can make you feel bad. It can make you feel like you're not doing what you're meant to be doing. And I know that feeling. I've been there. It's not a good feeling. It can make you feel pretty low. And I don't ever want you guys to feel like that. I don't want to ever feel like that. So I feel like this video influences the right thoughts when it comes to how you can influence yourself in a proper way. And that's what I'm working on. And that's where I'm trying to go. So you guys should come with me. All right. So if this video was helpful to you and influenced you in a positive way, like, share it, because I know a lot of people can relate. If you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this, there's going to be a lot more of this coming. So subscribe, join the family. I would love to learn from you guys, leave a comment, Let me know what you think. Uh, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay blessed.